Hi everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome to my channel. So I'm back for the first instalment on my journal. Now, I had this yellow book, which I was going to keep yellow, and then I decided, you know what, I've got this fabric tape, which is really good, which is just comes off single-sided. And I tried it first of all on the spine, and you know what, it's really strong. So I did put a piece inside. Please don't look at the messiness because, you know, I haven't quite done it right. However, I'm going to cover that up and you're not going to see it. And I've gone a bit wonky there, but you're not going to see that. If you were going to see that, I'd have to do it again because I couldn't cope with that. So I've just literally covered it. And it's made it, yeah, it's made it nice and strong. I don't think it matters because it's both the same which way. I think that was the front. But I'm thinking I'm going to go this with the front because I've got a little bit more of that side. So my first little project is the front page. So what I've done is I've gone through the papers and I've cut a piece which is 7 by 8, and then I've gone round the each side and I've scored it at 1/2 inch, and then I've just literally cut the corners off. So this is some paper that I've printed on. So all I've done is just to make sure, and I did follow Amanda doing this, is to make sure that your corners don't touch, so that there's no sort of, you know, they're not touching, so they're not going to get in the way. And then literally this is going to go on the front page. And I'm quite happy I've done it nice and straight, because with the little polka dots, you can follow them. So this is going to sit on the front like that, and I'm going to stick this side down. Just get my glue. I'm going to stick this one side down flat. I'm using this 3-in-1, and that's going to be the top. So I'm going to stick that down like that. Okay, so that's going to be open. Then these 3 sides I'm going to put glue on, and then I am going to place them here on the front. So let me go ahead and do that. I've got a little bit of, I don't know what that noise is. I've got the window open, the door open in the craft room, and there's someone's banging out there, and I'm not sure what they're doing. So I'm putting a good generous amount on because I want this to stick. And then that's going to be the top. So let's go for it. And I'm just going to make sure that looks pretty good to me, leaving a little gap at the bottom so you can have that black edge, which I quite like. I think it looks really neat. As I say, you're with me on this journey, my first journal journey. So let's see how we go. Right, I'm happy with that. Let me just give that a little pat down with the bone folder just to make sure I don't want any there. So that is going to be the first piece. Now I will probably put something under there. However, I have cut, let's just put that to the side a minute now. I've cut a piece of the pink, which has got double-sided because I've printed the yellow underneath. I'm just going to get my scoreboard out because it's rather large. And I've cut a piece which I think should be 6 by 3.5. And what I'm going to do is down the 3.5. I'm going to put the 3.5 at the top, like so. And I'm just going to score down one side at 1/2 inch. Right, so that's on 3. There's my little. So I'm just going to score at 1/2 inch. Let's make sure that's in. Is it that one there? Yeah. Let's do that again. There we go. Right, so that's what we need for that. let's just pop that out the way a minute. I'm just going to burnish that. So basically, that, I can hear ambulance now or sirens of some description. That is going to sit at the top there and be a little fold. However, I'm going to, and I know what I didn't do, I didn't ink around the edges, which I wanted to, but never mind. So I'm just going to cut it now. I've got this old Costa card. Now I don't know how big I want my bits to be at the bottom. I don't know whether I want them that big or I want them, I'm going to go for that one. They've got all different shapes. I'm going to go for that one there, and then I'm going to turn it over, pop it there, just to make sure we are exactly right, because there's nothing worse than having an angle that doesn't look right. Okay, now is it going to look funny if I ink this now? Just got a little thread there, don't like that. There we go. So that is going to sit about there. Just want to make sure I get the same at the top. There, like so. I'm going to ink because I do like my vintage photo, and I should have done it on there, but I will. I'll somehow I will do it. I just do like a bit of inking. I think it just gives it a, and also if there's any like white edges, that just gets rid of those. I'm going to ink it at the top, just a little tiny hint, that's all. And then I'm just going to turn it over and I'm going to ink underneath. Sure whether you'll be able to see this or not, but hey, let's go with the flow on this one, shall we? Right, let's pop that back like that. There we go. So this is going to go somewhere around there, and it's going to give us a little pocket like so. So I'm going to glue that just along that edge, and I'm going to stick that down. I'm just going to bring the book forward because I want to make sure that I get the same at the bottom, the top, as I've virtually got on the bottom, and I need to just move that over a tiny bit. Right, I'm happy with that. Oh, it's a motorbike or something by the sounds of it. Yeah, it's a motorbike. Right, there we go. That looks okay. Yeah, that looks all right to me. Right, so then what I've got is I've got a little belly band. I might have to close that door because that bike's quite loud. And I've inked around the edge already. And this piece is, I mean, obviously it depends on what size your journal is, because this is 5 3/4 by, I think it's like an inch. Yeah, an inch. But obviously it depends what size you're doing. And then I'm going to have this as like a little belly band. And I've also, what I've done is I've got my papers. Which one was it? It was this one, this signature, but I've made it smaller. I shrunk it a little bit, and I've basically cut it out, done it double-sided. So I've got another piece of card underneath so that it's a bit more stronger. And then I'm going to put this somewhere. I'm just going to work out where on here. And I'm only going to stick it on this belly band, because then this is going to tuck this in, hold that in, but also I can then put something underneath of this. So I'm just seeing how high I want it. So if I have it there, I'm just seeing how, right, so this wants to be about 3.5, doesn't it? So it needs to come down just a tiny bit, but is that going to be okay for that? I think so. I just don't want it to look odd. And I'm going to measure it against these dots. Right, I'm going to go for that one there. So I'm just going to put my little card there so that I know it's that one that I want, because I'm quite happy with that. And then I'm going to put a tiny, tiny, tiny bit each side. Not much at all. There we go. Okay, so I know, oh, just put my fingers straight in it, honestly, Jenny. I know it's that one there. And I'm just going to measure those little dots. I just wipe my hands because I've got a bit of glue on there. There we are. Slight little gap there. And then that is going to hold that in place. So if I have that just stuck there, I'm just seeing how much I want it overlapping. Probably about there. That's going to hold that down, isn't it? So I'm thinking if I do it to there, turn my finger and just do that bit there. Just there. So I don't want to be sticking it to the belly band. And do it about like that. And I've inked this as well prior to. I didn't want the video being majorly long. Oh my goodness, that's not in the middle, Jenny. Come on. Oh dear, quick, quick, quick. Come on. I'm going to have to slowly take it off a minute because it is not in the middle. Rookie mistake. Now, why is that? Do you know what? I didn't get that right down, did I? Oh dear, first mistake. Never mind. Never mind, we learn. I've already learnt something just by covering the book. And I learnt that when I do it next time, I would do this piece first. Because then when I do this, that piece would be underneath. So I've already learnt something. Right, let's do this again. I'm going to make many more mistakes, I am sure. Right, before I place it, just get it in the middle. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's about there. Make sure that's not stuck. That's not. So then we can open that. Just get my ruler and make sure. There we go. Yeah, we can get down there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So I think I will cover this yellow piece under here. I'm just seeing what bits I've got left. I'll probably cut a piece off and do that once I've decided what I'm going to put, and then that will hold that down. Right, I'm pleased with that. So we've done the front cover. How long's that taken me? 14 minutes. So the front cover is done. I'll probably put some little gems or something on, but I really like that. I think that's really pretty. And I'll probably put something on here, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So there we go. Front page done. Please let me know your thoughts. as I say, all the gear, no idea. Let me know what you think. I'm pleased with it so far. And I say this fabric tape is brilliant. So there you go. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I'll bring it down a little bit so you can see. And welcome to the journal journey with me. So take care, everyone. Crafty hugs, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.